There is a death tied to a rising music star, and there will be a medical examiner report that could answer the biggest question, and a court order says the public is not allowed to see it. Today, I'm not ruling on guilt, and I'm not speculating about the cause of death. No, here I'm ruling on who gets to control that information in a criminal investigation, and when it can be released, and why the government can keep the truth sealed and when it can't.
Hello, I'm Christopher Winchell, former criminal defense attorney. Let's cross-examine the secrecy. First, let's examine the story.
Here are the undisputed facts. 18, age 15, Celeste Rivas was found dead. Her body was discovered in the trunk of a Tesla that had been impounded at a Hollywood area tow yard in Los Angeles. And the vehicle turns out to be registered to D4VD, a fast-rising recording artist with national visibility. An investigation begins. An autopsy is performed with an ongoing medical examination. Then something unusual happens. Police ask a court to delay release of the medical examiner's findings, and a judge agrees. So now, as we sit here today in the court of public opinion, we have no cause of death, no manner of death, and absolutely no medical verified timeline. And all of this with the backdrop that the body was found not a month ago, not 2 months ago, but on September 8th, 2025. And what's the public left with? Just silence. And silence in a case like this is never neutral. So why does this even matter? Medical examiners are supposed to be independent. Their job is not to protect police strategy. Their job is to determine the cause and manner of death, and then to report it to the public. So when a court seals those findings, the balance shifts. That's the issue today. Not blame, not speculation, process.
And what's the state's argument here?
From the state's perspective, the argument is simple. Early disclosure can, 1, tip off suspects, 2, shape or contaminate witness statements, 3, compromise forensic sequencing, and 4, undermine search warrants. In a case like this, with intense media attention, celebrity proximity, and unanswered questions, courts do allow temporary non-disclosure when disclosure would cause specific investigative harm. That word matters. Specific.
Now let's look at the other side. Records are public for a reason. They prevent rumor, they ensure accountability, they anchor facts. Total silence does the complete opposite. When officials say nothing, speculation fills the vacuum, as we see online. And these online narratives harden. Innocent people get dragged into rumor cycles. Yes, the public does not need every detail, but it does need something in a case this big. Let's turn to the cross-examination, and I guarantee you, this is where judges earn their role. The right questions in this case are, what exactly is so sensitive it can't be redacted? Why a full seal instead of a partial disclosure? Is this delay time limited or completely open-ended? Because here's the reality. If you release nothing, you don't stop misinformation. You guarantee it. Secrecy may protect an investigation early, but over time, it erodes trust. And once trust erodes, cooperation is soon to follow.
Now let's turn to the law. California law requires balancing. Under the Public Records Act and investigatory privilege statutes, records may be withheld if disclosure would interfere with an ongoing investigation, endanger witnesses, reveal techniques, or compromise the ability to prove a case. But the burden is on the state to show specific harm. Courts allow temporary delay, narrow tailoring, and judicial review. They do not endorse indefinite secrecy. So that's why the decision belongs to the judge, not the police. So that's why we have to examine the competing interests. Two legitimate interests are in tension in this matter. First, justice, the overriding interest. Justice means identifying the right suspect, charging correctly, and proving the case beyond a reasonable doubt. If disclosure would undermine that goal, temporary secrecy is justified. The public's right to know cannot trump the ability to bring a viable case. But that's not the end of the analysis. Let's turn to the other side of the scale. The public's right to know, which actually grows over time. As weeks pass, now, as months have passed, yes, evidence should stabilize. Investigative risk diminish, but public concern intensifies. And if no charges are filed, as is the case now, and no arrests made, and no explanation even given, the justification for secrecy weakens. This is how the balance shifts over time.
Now let's turn to my ruling. I would uphold a temporary delay in this case, but only if the state had specified concrete, specific investigative harm. The order includes a defined review period. The court actively reassesses the necessity on an ongoing basis because total silence is not justified indefinitely. Justice requires discretion early, and justice requires transparency eventually. As time passes, the balance shifts and disclosure must follow. But that shift has to be judicial. Until that happens, the real question isn't what happened. It's who decides when the public gets to know. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And if you want me to cover this case, if and when it goes to trial, comment, cover it. And for deeper written coverage, visit CrimesDigest.com. And always remember, the truth matters and so does reasonable doubt. See you in the next one.